Enhance Team Member Performance, Module 5, Lesson 2. Develop an action plan to enhance team member performance, presented by Velma Gegana. Think about the process that the team will use to create a plan. They will have to follow these steps. 1. Setting objectives and goals. What are they trying to achieve? They'll have to think about how it's going to happen. They'll have to think of sequence of activities, as in the order of how things are going to happen. They would communicate the plan. So everyone who is part of the plan, who is affected by the plan, will have to be involved in it. Then they will implement the plan. So they will carry out the activities and tasks required to achieve those goals. Regularly check progress to monitor and ensure that things are going according to this action plan. We start by considering the roles and responsibilities associated with the plan. Right? And this is just getting started. Who's going to do what, by when? Who is affected by the plan? Are the customers, the staff, any other stakeholders? Is there someone else who must approve this plan? Is there somebody who is responsible for reviewing and monitoring the plan? Does management, my management, need to know what's going on? Who will be the owner of the plan? Does this individual have the authority to sufficiently advocate for the plan and ensure that all necessary resources are there? Who will be involved in the creation of the plan? What are the needed skill sets or experiences of team members? Do we need subject matter experts in what topic? Who's good at planning? Who's good at budget? Who's good at doing, etc.? What must be included in this plan? So in our overall action plan, firstly, our goal statement, the desired outcome for each priority or each item that we want to achieve. We need to develop a clear and concise goal statement for every priority that will ensure that everybody in our team understands what the outcome is and they all have it in mind as we proceed through any performance improvement process. The objective. How are we going to measure our success? In order to create a concrete plan of action, the objectives to reach the goal should also be specific, measurable, achievable, reliable, and time-bound. A sample or an example of an objective, we want to increase consumption of fruits and vegetables from 2 to 3 servings per day per child by the end of the school year. What strategy will we be using? A specific approach that the team will use in order to achieve our goal. How are we going to do this? The activities. These are the individual action steps that are needed to complete each strategy. For example, we're going to focus our efforts on working with schools to increase fruit and vegetable consumption of students while they're on campus. The activity we're going to do for this is we will conduct a survey of the current snacks that are offered in the 1st to 3rd grade of class in this particular school. The evaluation indicator. So how are we going to evaluate this? This is a measure of progress toward a goal or strategy. These indicators ultimately let your team know if the plan is successful in affecting or achieving the priority. This may help you identify activities that are useful in meeting your objectives and which ones are not. When considering possible evaluation indicators, discuss with your team. What do they believe success will look like? What outcomes are we working on? What is the evaluation schedule going to look like? Is there any data collection method that we can use to check how well we're doing as we go along the way? How will we know if we've made a difference? For example, of an evaluation indicator, we can say have 80% of the 1st to 3rd grade classes completed their healthy snack survey by the 30th of whatever month. Has 90% of service delivery processes been identified and mapped by the 1st of this month? As leaders, we must also include who is the lead role in this action. Who is the team leader that is primarily responsible for ensuring that the activity is completed? Here, we need to divide the tasks and the activities as evenly as possible, divide to the right people with the right thinking at the back of our mind. What are the resources that are needed? That is one more thing that we will think about, right? The finances, the time frame as well is something we need to consider. What is the expected completion date? Take into consideration what is happening with each team member. What else are they doing that can affect this time frame? Regularly checking the progress of each activity is also important. That should also be included in the plan. Implement the plan and regularly monitor it using progress meetings or check-in meetings. These may be weekly, or you can do this on a daily basis, right? You can use one of these group chat things with your team. At the end of the project, ensure that you debrief with your team. After you've reached your goal or when the project is closed, debrief with your team to check for any lessons that have been learned that can be applied or used on future projects. Ask the following types of questions. Did we honor our obligation to other team members? Did everyone cooperate, communicate? Was this team led appropriately? Were all team members informed regarding their work, what's required, what's happening, etc.? How can we as a team act more effectively in future? Download the activity sheet and complete the few questions about your team.